Hello everybody, this is me Adishri with yet another episode of Myth Taken. In the last episode, we saw how Rama and Lakshmana defeated the demoness Tataka and saved the forest of Dandaka. After this adventure, the two princes and sage Vishwamitra went on their journey. Soon they reached sage Vishwamitra's ashrama, Siddhashrama. The two tired princes were sent to their assigned quarters and they rested for the night. In the morning, after their morning ablutions, the two princes approached sage Vishwamitra to know more about the Rakshasas. As soon as they were all seated, sage Vishwamitra explained to the two princes how the Rakshasas would come and defile the yaga platform with human blood and carcasses. The yaga was for 7 days and the demons never allowed the rishis to complete the yaga. Rama said to sage Vishwamitra, "Please start preparations for the ritual immediately. We will make sure that the yaga will be completed." A happy sage Vishwamitra immediately began preparations for the ritual, and the very next day, the yaga started. Although the two princes kept a constant vigil, they saw no sign of the demons. So they asked sage Vishwamitra where the demons were. Sage Vishwamitra, who was under a vow of silence, could not answer him. But the junior sages answered that the demons usually came on the very last day of the ritual so that the yaga could not be complete. They also advised Rama and Lakshmana to keep a very constant vigil, especially on the last day of the ritual. For 6 days and 6 nights, the two princes kept a constant vigil on the ashram and surroundings. But there was no sign of the demons. On the last day, Rama said to Lakshmana, "This is the day we are waiting for. The demons will come today and we have to protect the ashram." Even as he said this, the flames shot up from the sacrificial fire, for Lord Agni, the fire god, knew that the demons were close by. The sky became black with the demons who were coming en masse. Rama and Lakshmana shot arrow after arrow and killed many of the demons. Rama shot the Manavastra on Maricha, and to escape the arrow he had to keep running till he reached the ocean. Rama also used the Agnyastra on Subahu and killed him. Thus, the two princes wiped out all of the demons and the ritual could be completed successfully. Vishwamitra was visibly very happy and blessed the two princes with long life and many weapons. The next day, the two princes approached sage Vishwamitra for further orders. Now, the purpose of the avatar of Rama was not unknown to sage Vishwamitra. He knew that there was one more job for him to fulfill, and that was the marriage of Prince Rama to Princess Sita. Sita was the incarnation of goddess Lakshmi, the holy consort of Lord Vishnu. She was the daughter of King Janaka, who had found her while plowing the land for a yaga. Himself childless, he had taken Sita as a gift of Mother Nature and had adopted her as his own child. As they were nearing Mithila, Rama and Lakshmana came upon a beautiful ashrama, but it was deserted. Turning to sage Vishwamitra, they asked why the ashram was deserted. Vishwamitra replied that the ashrama belonged to sage Gautama and his wife Ahilya. Long ago, sage Gautama and his wife Ahilya lived here in peace and meditation. But one day, Indra, who was lustful of Ahilya's beauty, visited this ashram in the guise of the sage. The innocent Ahilya was not able to recognize the Lord of the Celestials. After committing the sin, Indra ran away out of guilt and shame. But on the way, he met the sage, and seeing no way out of the situation, and knowing the sage's great powers, he fell on his feet and begged for forgiveness. The angry sage cursed both Indra and Ahilya. Ahilya was cursed to become a stone and stay in the ashram for many years until King Dasharatha's son came and set foot on her. Immediately, she would transform back into her old self and the curse would be lifted. Sage Vishwamitra told Rama, "Let us set foot on the ashram and free Ahilya of her curse." As soon as Rama set foot on the stone, Ahilya transformed into her original self and welcomed the two princes and the sage into her ashram. Almost simultaneously, sage Gautama also appeared and took back his wife. After freeing Ahilya from her curse and getting sage Gautama's blessings, the two princes and sage Vishwamitra went on to Mithila. As soon as they reached the capital city of Mithila, King Janaka himself greeted them. He was pleasantly surprised and pleased to see the two princes and also happy to know that they were the sons of his old friend King Dasharatha. Sage Vishwamitra asked King Janaka if Rama could try the bow of Lord Rudra. Janaka was pleased and immediately gave permission. Rama went for the bow, took it like it was a garland, strung it and aimed an arrow, but almost immediately the bow snapped into two. Thus Rama completed the challenge set by King Janaka and he won Princess Sita. Janaka immediately sent messengers to King Dasharatha with their joyous news. King Dasharatha immediately gave orders for the journey to take place. As soon as King Dasharatha reached Mithila, the marriage ceremony began and Princess Sita and Prince Rama were married. The marriages of the other three princes also took place on the same day. Lakshmana married Urmila, Sita's sister, and Bharata and Shatrughna married Mandavi and Shrutakirti, King Janaka's brother, King Kushadwat's daughters. After the rest of the ceremonies took place, the newlyweds were taken back to King Dasharatha's palace. But on the way, there came a great storm and hurricane. It was succeeded by the arrival of the sage Parashuraman. Although scared and petrified of the sage's temper, the Brahmanas in King Dasharatha's retinue offered him water. Parashurama immediately challenged Rama, "String this bow that I have with me. It is equal in power and strength to the one that you have broken. I want to test your strength." Further on, he explained how the two bows were made by Vishwakarma and this one had been entrusted to his father by Vishnu. Hearing all of this, the terror-struck Dasharatha begged sage Parashurama to take back his challenge as Rama was only a tender-hearted boy. Unmoved by this, Parashurama just stood there waiting for Rama to complete his challenge. Seeing that Parashurama was not going to back down, Rama stepped forward and told him that he would take up the challenge. He took the bow and strung it. He strung an arrow on the bow and turned to the sage Parashurama and asked him, "This mighty Vaishnava arrow cannot be put back simply. I have to aim it somewhere. Please tell me where I must aim it." Parashurama recognized who Rama was immediately. Seeing that his role on earth was over, he decided to go back to the mountains and continue his meditation. "Please aim this arrow for the Mahendra mountains where I will continue my tapas." Saying this, he went around Rama in a reverent circle, giving up the fruit of all of his tapas to Rama. Rama let go of the arrow and Parashurama followed the arrow to Mahendra mountains to continue his tapas. The citizens of Ayodhya were overjoyed to get their king and prince back. The city looked like it was celebrating a festival, and for many days everybody lived happily. Rama and Sita lived together in Ayodhya for a happy 12 years. With this, we come to the end of Balakandam and the end of today's episode. Thank you and have a nice day.